Hi folks, welcome back to the Liverpool Complete Playthrough. The squad is coming along nicely. I've actually continued on since last episode, so if you saw last episode, you'll know exactly where we are. Signings have been made, and bids have been put in for some more players as well. Moreno, Milner, Coutinho have left, De Bruyne, Salah, and then Golan and Joe Hart, of course, come in. And so the squad all of a sudden is looking... Well, it's looking revitalised, isn't it? If this is the starting 11, of course, we have one more spot to figure out, and that would be left back. A few people suggesting as well, though, that we buy a striker, a good left back, and a striker. So today we're going to focus. We have got a friendly today, I think, but we're probably not going to play it. This is Jordi Alba, 40 million. What do you think? Do you think Jordi Alba makes sense as a signing for Liverpool? Mental's very good, physical's fantastic, good crossing as well. Is he going to be the man for us? I just need to have a little sneeze. Oh, I don't do cuts very often, but hold on. It came upon me. I was not expecting it, but 40 million for Jordi Alba. I don't know what wage he's going to want, so this is about to be interesting. He's not the number one choice. For that amount of money, he's definitely not the number one choice. He's currently on 140,000 at Barcelona, which is obviously a lot of money. I don't think we're going to go for him. I did mention that 40 million, it's not bad, is it? Like, would he accept sort of like the 190 mark if I just go... No. Okay. We'll leave it for now. We may go back in for him. I'm also looking at strikers. Apparently Griezmann would cost me 120 million. As much as I quite like Anton Griezmann, I think 120 million, a bit much. Volland there as well. Got Pato, Elkerson, Hernandez. Hernandez got a release fee, interestingly. So someone we could maybe go after if we were absolutely desperate. Now, Edison Cavani's an interesting name. It'd probably cost me 200 grand a week. But he's your proper sort of centre forward in my book. He's a bit older these days. Transfer-wise, they didn't accept the 23 million. We'll go to 29 and just see what they say. He's getting on a little bit now, Cavani, which is strange, isn't it? Cavani always seemed like a player that would not go on forever, that's a bit much, but would be around for a long time. And I mean, he still could be, but for him to be at 30 already seems quick. There's the record transfer fee spent, 60 million on Kevin De Bruyne. The previous figure was obviously when we bought Van Dijk from Southampton. Mignolet and Pastore still not attracting any offers. As the window goes on, though, you would hope that would continue. Question mark Cavani, which I'm just going to frankly ignore. Aguero, someone I also highlighted, and we've had some loan bids come in. Well, some interesting loan bids. Ben Woodburn also. Don't think he's ready for the first team yet. I'm sure I'll get questions about Ben Woodburn throughout the series. If you ever see a comment about Ben Woodburn this season, just know that he's coming along nicely, but he's still not really there to challenge for a first team spot. We're fighting on a lot of fronts though this season, so I don't want to loan him out unless he's guaranteed to get first team football at a really good side. Now, interestingly, now Mignolet will have to have his fee activated. I don't know if that just happens or what, but actually West Ham have put in a very nice little bid. Now, we're not going to get money for him, but if he plays for them, I mean, I'm going to suggest 9 million. Okay, they're very sure. 250,000. So that's close to sort of 2.5 million if you add it all up. They're also going to pay full wages and a future fee after match is played. I don't know if he has to be bought at that point. Well, okay, yeah, to me that's a pretty good deal. Certainly better than the Monaco deal, as they're willing to pay his wages as well. I'm welcoming Kevin De Bruyne to the club. There's still enough money to bring a couple more players in as well, so I'm not too concerned about that. 146 million on the balance sheet, 86 million on the transfer budget, so still room to manoeuvre, as well as maybe some potential outs that are going to come in. Of course, Grujic has been subject to a lot of loan bids. We've got Andre Wisdom, who looks like he's going to leave to Celtic for a decent-ish fee. Loan bids come in for Allen. We'll let Allen go out on loan again, and Pedro. Is it Pedro? It is Pedro. And there's actually, do you know what? I do know how to say his surname, but it's one of those things that I'm going to say it wrong, and I don't want to say it wrong, so I'm just not going to say it. Now, Thiago Maia would be interesting. We don't have a defensive midfielder. Of course, Thiago Maia is bought as a wonder kid for a lot of saves, so we're going to avoid him on this occasion. I had a chat with Sadio Mane earlier, and I'd like to discuss an improved contract. Now, he's obviously seeing some of the big guns come in, and he wants to talk about getting an increase on his own. I am not going to talk to Sadio Mane. And then when he asks why, oh, come on, he's got loads of time left. Look, hold on. I don't care. I consider his demands unreasonable. And yeah, they by and large seem okay with it, apart from Saeed, who obviously knows we're going for a left back and is feeling very uncomfortable. Okay, so the bid for the Cavani was rejected. If he was 27, I would have gone to sort of 35, 40, but that's not what's happened. So we'll leave that for now. So on this list then, who can we attract? And I'll tell you what, this list is very, very... It's very appetising, I'll say that much. Sergio Aguero is obviously there. Alexis Sanchez is now on the list. He wasn't there before. So I don't know. I mean, surely they're not willing to accept any sort of bid for Alexis Sanchez. But imagine Alexis Sanchez in a Liverpool shirt all of a sudden. We're going at 55 million. As I say, he wasn't on the list before. I honestly think the signing of De Bruyne has suddenly made other players in world football go, hang on a minute, they're taking this seriously. We've still got loads of wage budget as well, by the way. We could, if anything, we could probably add that to the transfer budget and lower that ever so slightly. Oh, it's close. We'll give it 92. We'll change it ever so slightly. Who else is there? Icardi, of course, 24 years of age. He would be a bit of, if you brought him in, he's a bit of a goal machine. 30 million is his current price. We'll make an inquiry, actually, on Icardi. We'll see if Inter are willing to sell. Of course, Daniel Sturridge. Harry Kane. I never really thought about the possibility of getting Harry Kane. We're going to make a few inquiries on a few strikers and see what we get as a response to them. I don't think there's anyone else there that really jumps out at me. And Aki Williams would have been someone maybe we would have gone for ahead of Salah, but that's been done now. Ability-wise, who are the best strikers around right now? Mario Mandzukic, would you ever sign him, Ben? Probably not. Quite good hold-up play, but it costs you quite a lot, and he's 31 now, so he's getting on a little bit as well. Sadio Mane is upset. I'm just not going to be talking about contracts today. Again, this episode will be around 15 or so minutes, I think, so keep an eye out for that. Nathaniel Klein's injury. You've got to keep an eye on these injuries, just in case something bad happens to a position we need to strengthen. I mean, that would be the disaster, wouldn't it, if we spend all our money and then we get a big injury to a player like Nathaniel Klein. I'm going to suggest 38. They are not happy about that. We'll bid 40. We'll see what they say. I mean, I quite like the idea of Sanchez. I should have offered 40 and a pound, just like Arsenal did to Liverpool that time. That would have been comedic, wouldn't it? But it's too late now, it's happened. Right, is there anything else going to happen? They're not even talking about Harry Kane. He's not for sale at any price. Is he for sale at 50 million, though? I mean, I think that's a price, isn't it? Let's see what they say for 50. I mean, if you sort of show this money in front of them, there's a slim chance they'll go, yeah, go on then. They've rejected the Sanchez offer. What if we do another 15 million? I mean, I've gone pretty big there. Another 10 million over 2 years? They're not thinking about, they're not even talking about. We'll go 15 and bid it and see what they say. What's that now? That's 70 million for Sanchez. I mean, I would take it, Arsenal. I'm just saying. Now, there is a friendly. Shall we play the friendly or shall we avoid the friendly? I mean, we would get to see some of our new boys in action, which I quite like the opportunity to do. So, you know what? Instead of like the transfer stuff, there'll be at least 2 more episodes probably on transfer stuff. So let's get a game in and let's see how we're looking as a side. We'll get to see how some of our new boys compete. I think all of our bench players will actually get on the bench today, everyone that's available. And yeah, before we even got... Oh, no, hang on. Genie's there. Right, so they've got 12 subs as well. So that would suggest, actually, that the squad, if you take 2 11s out of that, you probably can do. You've got Joe Hart in goal. You've probably got Karius as the second choice. You've then got Alexander-Arnold, who obviously plays today, but Klein and him. Van Dijk, Gomez. You've got Matip and Klavan. That's one area that I might try and strengthen still. Kolasinac, and that's still the area that we don't have a secondary, especially with the sale of Moreno. Nangolan and Henderson could easily be Grujic and Emre Can. You've got Mane, that could be Salah. You've got De Bruyne, that could be one of Lallana or Pastore. Borja Keita on the left-hand side, that of course could become Shiojo. And then up front, you've got Danny Ings, you've got Origi, and you've got Roberto Firmino. So there isn't a massive... like in terms of squad depth now, we're pretty well set, I dare say. We'll play this game. I'm not even sure who it's against, to be honest. Canberra. No, it sounds French. It sounds like a cheese in France. Are they French? If they're not French and you're already aware of this and you're just waiting for me to find out, apologies. Apparently the teams are warming up. But yeah, we're going to get a game in. We're going to see how we do. Canberra. Where I need to find out where Canberra are from. They're Dutch. That's going to have offended. That would definitely have been Dutch people shouting at their computer there. Okay then, that's the team I'm going to go with. Let's just see how we do. See how it operates. See if Kevin De Bruyne can work a little bit of magic. Of course, he's essentially replaced Coutinho in the centre there. So I'm hoping we see something magical for him today as we get our first look at some of our new recruits. Oh, that stadium's very nice. They're all jogging together there. Look, I can't click them. That's disappointing. This is quite a nice little stadium. I like the little corner thing they've got going on. The pitch looks... it looks in good condition after the summer break. I won't show any other friendlies, I don't think, in these videos, but I just want to see one, just so I can get a quick look. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne's very ginger. I appreciate that, as Alexander-Arnold heads away. Of course, this game means little to, well, nothing, really, but it's always nice to see how we're going to get on. I've got a full match on. We could have been here all day if I hadn't noticed that. My goodness gracious. And we'll put camera on director. Hopefully, that will now be the end of the highlights. Right, well, there's a highlight straight away. In theory, we should beat this side quite comfortably. I was a bit nervous there. Joe Hart, of course, making his debut as well. Non-competitive fixture, but I still want to see how these boys do. What a peculiar gap in the stadium. You can see some lovely trees behind it. As Canberra, and there must be a different way. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, Dutch people, I'm so sorry. So far, not much is happening, and I regret watching this. But De Bruyne, corner taker, quite good at set pieces as he whips it in. Oh, it's nodded down by Firmino, I think it is, to Henderson, and he pops it in the back of the net, and everyone seems pretty happy. We're not celebrating as a team, though. That's disappointing. You see there, the corner's whipped in by De Bruyne, slightly different angle, which you don't see every day. Firmino heads it down, and Henderson on the Di Canio-esque volley either hits the player or hits the post, either or. Goes to the back of the net. Good start to this friendly, and there might be another highlight not too far away. I'm hoping that Henderson will be one of the consistent factors in this side. Obviously, he's a player that is captain of Liverpool, so you want to keep him in there. Great at what he does as well, as Mane finds Firmino quite comfortably there. It's great at what he does, Henderson. Gets the ball, gives it. We're changing him from that box-to-box role and giving him a little bit more licence to pick a pass, whereas next to him now, with Nainggolan, there should be so much more space and time for Henderson. Nainggolan will do all that work. For those who haven't seen Nainggolan, the way he operates is very much like N'Golo Kante, but slightly craftier, slightly cleverer, and slightly more attacking, I dare say, but only ever so slightly. I don't think he's necessarily got quite the work ethic that someone like N'Golo Kante's got, but attribute-wise, certainly in Football Manager, that's how you'd probably compare him, as Keita has a shot which just hits the top of the net. And so far in this friendly, looking pretty good. I mean, it's not a dominating performance, but it is our first performance of the season. Really, the big hope here is that we don't get any injuries. That's the key thing. And we will check after this game if there's any other... this mouse, I apologise if people get annoyed by it. We will check after the game if there's any other transfer inquiries coming through, as Mane makes it 3. We'll skip these replays because we literally don't need to see it. But so far, we seem to be operating quite nicely. In 3D, it's a little bit more difficult to see what's going on. Now, this is curious. Is this going to be a thing that happens a lot? We'll pause it there. Firmino dropping a little bit deeper. You suddenly have De Bruyne and N'Golo next to each other. Henderson dropping slightly deeper as that playmaker with your fullbacks pushed up. Will Firmino become... I mean, if anyone's been watching my friend Jack Work the Spaces stream, he's had a similar thing where his forwards have been cutting in and his forward line attack is dropping slightly deeper. So there might be something similar developing here. Of course, we play Mane as a winger, not as an inside forward, whereas I think, if you've seen Jack's stream, he plays 2 inside forwards, and I think it's an advanced playmaker in the centre. So it's not dissimilar what's going on here. We have Firmino slightly more in that area, ready to finish things off. It's less a midfield presence and more a complete striking presence as this game continues. We're now locked into this game. It could be like 9-0. But we're looking good. I like the way that the ball has been whipped out to Firmino on that side, and so far 2 assists and a goal for him. He's very much involved. Of course, an assist for Henderson as well. Firmino's having a fantastic game. 2 goals, 2 assists for him so far. As we get to half-time, I'm going to try and get this team to play the entire 90 minutes. I don't think there's a massive need for change. We'll keep an eye on fitness, though, as we go through, as Henderson's on it, and the highlight continues. I'm not too disappointed if there are little to no highlights towards the end of this. I do want to get a little bit more transfer stuff done, just to see where our bids are going and who becomes available. I do agree, though, left-back's still the area, but we need to find the right one and not spend too much. If you've got any suggestions, particularly on the left-back spot, by all means. I did go for Grimaldo at one point. As mentioned last episode, he went to Paris Saint-Germain. He was going to be one of my first choices, but as we moved on, as Firmino for the hat-trick and gets it. Great finish. De Bruyne, I think it was De Bruyne and N'Golo working together in the centre. Firmino is celebrating with Coutinho, who's obviously no longer with us. So, in France, I should clarify, not passed away. N'Golo it is, in fact, that slides it into Firmino and gets the finish on goal. Again, you look at where that, when the ball's been struck, you've got De Bruyne there, you've got N'Golo at the top, you can just see them. Keita and Mane, that is quite a scary front 5 that teams are going to have to deal with this season, and that is quite an exciting prospect in itself. With Van Dijk in there as well, I actually think across the board we've got a very solid side now. A few people saying that this squad is gone from being a decent Premier League squad to, in my opinion, with the acquisitions we've made, I think it's a title-winning team. I genuinely think this is up there with some of the better teams in the Premier League. In fact, we'll save it. We'll save it till the opening day of the season. I want to get predictions, but we'll save it for now on where we may well finish at the top of the table. With 10 minutes to go, we're just going to make sure no one's suffering. We'll just get off players like N'Golo, and De Bruyne can come off as well for Pastore. Pastore's an interesting one. Pastore and De Bruyne are quite similar, whereas Coutinho and Pastore I wouldn't have ever put in the same bracket. But I do think Pastore is the B version of De Bruyne. So he actually might fit into this squad slightly better, and it may well be a player like Adam Lallana then that is moved on instead of Pastore. So that is going to be interesting. If Pastore he's in a system with lots of pace around him and with hard-working midfielders behind. I think that's probably a system he could flourish in, and I think today we've seen De Bruyne flourish as well. Didn't have a major part to play in the game itself, actually. 7.9 rating's not too bad, but the players around him did fantastically well, and that's a nice pre-season performance there. 5-0, clean sheet for Joe Hart as well. I'd be pleased with that. Defensively, we look really solid as well. And we're just going to see if any other little transfer nuggets reveal themselves. Well, here we are. Mignolet is off then. He's going on loan for the season to West Ham. We cannot recall him. Karius will certainly be our number 2. Andre Wisdom's also on his way out, so a little bit of money coming in for him as well. And all of a sudden, things are looking good. More loan offers for Grujic, but again, we're not going to be accepting those. So strikers and left-backs, that's the new aim of the game. Who do we want in come the end of the season? Again, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Players like Guerrero, not bad, but will cost me a lot of money. Defensively, not fantastic. Marking and tackling, a little bit of an issue for me. And then you've got Jonas Hector up top, who's, again, decent without being fantastic. Should we have paid the money for Jordi Alba? Should we pay the money for Jordi Alba? A few people mentioned Ricardo Rodriguez as well. Fantastic crossing, physically quite good too. Defensively and tackling quite good, but not that dissimilar, I'm going to be honest. And some of the names you're mentioning, you've got to remember we are comparing them to, say, Kolasinac, who's very good defensively, physically very good as well. It's just that going forward attacking area isn't the best. So leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like. And if you'd like to see some more, subscribe to the channel. With love, with care. From me to Benji, until next time, I'll see you again very, very soon. Goodbye. Too sinister, Ben. Don't do it.